Hi everybody, hi Glam Babies, welcome back. Thank you for visiting Glamma's Closet, and I keep forgetting to say this, but if you could hit like and subscribe, that would be wonderful for me, okay? So thank you very much for all of my guests that have come, and if you're new with me, I'm Glamma. Hi. I am a reseller, and I do that part-time, and then what many of you may not know is that I also do weddings and event plannings. I do that for a local hotel, which shall go unnamed due to contractual purposes. But I have been in the wedding business for quite some time. So I've kind of seen it all. I've seen a lot of it 5 times. And I just kind of wanted to share some of the things that I see that brides have bought and are starting to even more buy from wedding sellers. And the reason why I'm bringing up weddings at this point is because weddings are beginning to pick back up for bookings. This I know for sure. There's a reason why I was called back to work, and after a year of furlough, and it's because the demand for weddings is getting higher and higher and higher. As we move towards having a vaccinated population, many brides and grooms that have put things off and postponed weddings for a year or more are eager to get going. And we also have many new engagements that have happened during the pandemic. So I feel like this is a good time for us to share maybe some wedding bolos for brides and for wedding guests. And in this particular instance, in my particular instance, it's actually from an insider's point of view. So it's not that I'm seeing this happen in the market, it's that I'm literally living this and seeing it and speaking with many brides and grooms in person about what is going on, what they're looking for, things like that. Now, what we are going to do, just one last note before we jump in. What we are going to do is I'm going to avoid the things that you should be selling on Facebook Marketplace. There are things that you should sell on Facebook Marketplace because they're just simply heavy and awkward to ship. They're very breakable. You don't want to take that kind of responsibility. And frankly, if it's that heavy and awkward to ship, it's going to end up costing you more than you'll make in profit. So with that being said, let's jump in. Let's see, the first one, let's talk about the bride for a second. There are several different bridal magazines, including The Knot, who have done articles on bridal dresses, bridal gowns, and how the next generation is beginning to seek out more and more the repurposed bridal gown or the reseller bridal gown. They actually have resell wedding sites where you can go and pick out things and find bridal gowns, but a lot of brides are looking on sites that they feel comfortable on too, including eBay, POSHMARK, Mercari, things of that nature. So if you have bridal gowns, I would say those are, or if you spot a bridal gown that's at a really great discount, I would say, maybe pick it up. Now be careful, because the reseller value on a wedding gown is not going to be anywhere near the retail value. They are so marked up for bridal stores. So just kind of keep that in mind. You don't want to, spend $500 on a secondhand wedding gown only to be able to, maybe flip it for $400. So just kind of keep cost of goods in mind. So if you don't know, please look up comps and just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Wedding veils, I noticed, are a really big expense. They can go anywhere from $90 to $1,000, I mean, depending on the veil. So if you come across a veil in great condition, or if you come across like a vintage veil, vintage wedding gowns, vintage petticoats, I think those would all be wonderful, beautiful things to resell. And especially, guys, look at dig through those bins. Dig through those bins. And make sure and wash it. For the love of God, do not send a bride something that has spots on it. You don't want that kind of trouble, trust me. But speaking of veils, headpieces as well. So if you have things like a bridal tiara with combs, if you have a headpiece that's like a pearly, crusty headpiece, if you have a very simple headpiece, but it has the ability to attach a veil, take a look for those. Brides also like, and specifically winter, fall brides, and maybe really early spring, boleros and shrugs. So they're looking for like maybe a short sleeved or even a long sleeved, something kind of shorter usually, but even like a white fur cape. I had a bride who had a winter wedding, and she had a white fur cape, and it had like a little white fur hood, and she just looked like a princess. She was so adorable. Hi, sweetie, you know who you are if you're watching. Beaded belts are another really great thing to pick up. So they're the belts with the beads, the belts with the flat satin bows, belts with rhinestones, things like that you could wrap around the mid portion of a wedding dress, or even, you know, create an empire waist with. Those are very sought after as well, and they will pay up for those. It just depends on the belt. And you always want to do comps. I cannot stress this enough. For weddings, do comps. Look at what they're selling for retail. Look at what they're selling for through reseller sites as well. But specifically on the sites that you go to, look at what those sold comps are, and figure out, you know, is the investment worth the price? Now, if I were to come across something in the bins, or if I were to come across something at a yard sale, or if I were to come across something at, you know, even a thrift store, for the right price, I would definitely purchase it. If I could get a bridal belt for $5 that has all the crusty stuff on it, you bet, because I can probably resell that for anywhere from $30 to $50. So just something to kind of keep in mind. For weddings, also non-perishable bouquets. So when I'm talking about non-perishable bouquets, typically the word boho is what I see attached. But sustainable would also be, or eco-friendly would also be another way of putting it. So let's say that you have a bridal bouquet, and then you have maybe, you know, a couple of bridesmaids bouquets left over from your wedding, or left over from your niece's wedding that she's getting ready to get rid of, or something that you've come across in the bins where you find this beautiful bridal bouquet with the handle, and it's made of, you know, maybe silk flowers or things of that nature. I would definitely take a look at those, because if you can get them for the right price, you can sell them for the right price. I think you'll be surprised at what the comps are on those. So those are bolos that have to do with the mainly with the bride, with the bridal outfit, or the bridal, you know, accoutrement for the day. What a fancy word. You know, I pull one out every now and again. Luckily I put it back in. I'm joking. I'm totally joking.